Good afternoon. Welcome to Music is Resistance, for those who have just showed up. My name is Matthew, and this is Greg, and we're here from the South Wedge Mission, which is a Lutheran Episcopal Catholic worker / anybody who's willing to practice for the sake of a better world community over in the South Wedge. We're here to share a set of music, mostly original stuff that we've written in the context of our community for liturgy. In our community, liturgy is a word that means work of the people. And so for us, it's not just about passively consuming, but it's about actively producing and participating and creating something. And we hope that we can create a space together today to find some healing, connect with however you identify the thing that's bigger than you. We call it God because it's a word, but whatever word you use, we feel free to fill it in. We're not here to try to convince you to think differently. We're trying to help everyone find a center so we can all think bigger and think together and move together. So we're going to start with a centering chant. Use a very ancient syllable, Om, which is meant to help us get into our bodies, get out of our heads, get into our whole selves. So if you're out there and you want to join us, we welcome you all to participate. You just make a nice Om. With us. Feel the vibration start in the crown of your head and get down into your belly, into your gut. Trying to unite our head, our heart, and our gut together. Om. And as you Om, I'm going to do a chant over the top of that. We're going to set an intention with a prayer from one of our spiritual ancestors, St. Francis of Assisi. Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. Where there is hatred, let me so love. Love calls to love. We serve the growing cries. Oh.
So this is the time when I introduce an Afro-Cuban song from Santeria by talking about the things that I hate and love about the Bible. The most common command in the Bible. I have a complicated relationship with that text. For one, I think that the idea that an all-powerful being started talking to us 2,000 years ago, 2,000 years before 2000 BC, and then kept talking to us through about 200 AD, and then just stopped, seems a little out there to me. But there's also, many things in the text that speak to me very powerfully. And one of them is the fact that the most common command in that text is be not afraid. Fear not. And whenever I am performing, it is something that's important to me to remember that. It's something that is important before almost all of our work, to fear not. And it's a funny thing that often the people who have the least to fear in our society, oftentimes the white men are the ones who fear the most, who are constantly fearing for their place. And it's just always important to me to start off reminding myself of that fear not, and to open up, to take down my defenses. And so this is a song from a tradition that I love, Afro-Cuban folkloric music, the music of Santeria. This is a prayer to Ile Ago that starts off many ceremonies, and it goes Ago, Ile Ago, which means Ago, open up. Ile is the congregation, and open up, congregation, open up. So it's call and response. I would love, one of the ways that I get out of fear is by playing some rhythms, by getting into my body, by singing. So I would love for you guys, anybody out there, to respond. I'll sing the call, Matthew will sing the response. Ago, Ile, Ago. It goes, Ago, Ile, Ago. Ago, Ile, Ago. Ago, Ile, Ago. Ago, Ile, Ago. Ago, Ile, Ago, ya. Ago, Ile, Ago, ya. Ago, Ile, Ago, ya. Ago, Ile, Ago. Ago, Ile, Ago. Ago, Ile, Ago. Ago, Ile, Ago. Ago, Ile, Ago, ya. Ago, Ile, Ago, ya. Ago, Ile, Ago, ya. Ago, Ile, Ago, ya. Ago, Ile, Ago. Ago, Ile, Ago. Ago, Ile, Ago. Ago, Ile, Ago. Ago, Ile, Ago, ya. Ago, Ile, Ago, ya. Ago, Ile, Ago, ya. Ago, Ile, Ago, ya. Ago, Ile, Ago. Ago, Ile, Ago. Ago, Ile, Ago. Ago, Ile, Ago.
One of the things about that song is that it helps us to remember that we're part of a bigger community than just ourselves. A bigger communion than just two cis, white, hetero males up here playing some music. A bigger struggle than just our own need for meaning. One of our biggest companions on this journey is our inspiration, Mavis Staples. We're gonna do her version of this spiritual called We'll Never Turn Back, just as a reminder to us and as an intention. I invite you to set your intention to keep going, because one thing that spirituality can do for us, it helps us keep going. When we're too tired, when it no longer feels good, when it seems hopeless, we remember that we're part of a bigger journey, a bigger community, a bigger movement, and that maybe, just maybe, there's a bigger power on our side as well. And give us hope. Now we've been viewed, we've been scorned, we've been talked about, shows you've been born. We will never turn back. No, we'll never turn back. No, we'll never turn back. Until we walk in peace. We have walked through the shadow of death. We have walked up but we'll never turn back until we have all been free, until we have all been free, and we all have equality. We have hung our heads and cried for all those like Daniel who died for you and died for me, died for the cause of equality. No, we'll never turn back. No, we'll never turn back. No, we'll never turn back. No, we'll never turn Thank you.
Thank you.
Keep going.
Yeah. We're going to do a piece now, an original of mine, entitled Recount. Yeah.
So if this were a liturgy, this would be kind of like the proclamation, or someone might call it a homily. But it's homily from lay minister Greg here, although we believe in the priesthood of all believers, so he's the preacher right now. So he's going to talk about, what are you going to talk about, Greg?
I'm going to talk about, this is a song that I'm hoping after November 3rd, I don't have to sing again. This was, right after the inauguration in good old 2017 there. I was trying to write some music, and I started writing the chords to this song. Came up with this little chord change. I was like, yeah, that's the one. And I tried writing words to it, and they were terrible. And a couple days later, I came across this poem by this wonderful chaplain out in San Francisco, Lisa Jeffcoat. This beautiful poem she had written right after the inauguration, and I just it fit right beautifully with this, and I set it to music, and this is Recount. You're right to be skeptical of your win. No matter how much you execute with your ordering pen. You cannot ban the creative chaos of love practicing perpetual resurrection. You might build walls with your words, but you will never be mighty enough to take away our voices. You may try to rename the family of humanity as us and them, but we are not yours to name. Riddle us with shots of fear, but fear, like a bullet, is merely something we carry. It isn't something you can make us become. You can chip away at the bedrock of democracy, but democracy is bigger than you, and you will soon find your chipping has sculpted a new generation of citizens who will never take our democracy for granted again. You can relentlessly chirp at us in the hopes that we will be so rude or worn down by your song that we won't trust our own eyes or ears. But we the people see clearly by the dawn's early light, as we have for hundreds of years, as we will for hundreds of years after you. You You were right. The race has always been rigged. Love never fails.
This were a liturgy, a service that was meant to be a practice that helps move us from a place of unsettledness to at least a place of centeredness within that unsettledness. At least in our tradition, after the homily comes communion. And a work that's really important to us in our community, around communion, is the work of activist Adrienne Maree Brown. Adrienne Maree Brown reminds us that despite so much rage and so much hurt and so much pain, we have original belovedness, and we were made to enjoy and to take pleasure in the gift of life. That one of the reasons that injustice is that it creates conditions of trauma in which beloved children of the Creator are unable to experience themselves as the beloved being that they are. It creates the lie that somehow we're not allowed to take delight in who we are created to be. Catholic worker founder Dorothy Day said that we have the duty of delight. We have a duty to take delight and to find hope even in the midst of despair. And even though it's hard, we can sustain each other in that and give the gift of ourselves back to one another. So in the midst of this song that Greg and I kind of wrote together over text message one day, we're going to read some passages from Adrienne Maree Brown's book, Pleasure Activism. To help remind you to take delight and joy in your body, in your desires, in your existence. Here's the words.
Living the infinite pleasure while learning to love limitation. Living the infinite pleasure while learning to love limitation. Living the infinite pleasure while learning to love limitation.
Pleasure is a feeling of happy satisfaction and enjoyment. Pleasure activism is the work we do to reclaim our whole, happy, and satisfiable selves from the impacts, delusions, and limitations of oppression and supremacy. Ultimately, pleasure activism is us learning to make justice and liberation the most pleasurable experiences we can have on this planet.
Living the infinite pleasure while learning to love limitation. Living the infinite
by tapping into the potential goodness in each of us, we can generate justice and liberation, growing a healing abundance where we have been socialized to believe that only scarcity exists. It includes work and life lived in the realms of satisfaction and joy to bring out social change. My original belovedness.
Live the infinite pleasure while learning to love invitation. Live in the infinite pleasure while learning to love invitation. Live in the living the infinite pleasure while learning to love invitation. Living the infinite pleasure while learning to love invitation. Living the infinite pleasure while learning to love invitation. Living the infinite pleasure while learning to love invitation. Living the infinite pleasure while learning to love invitation.
Pleasure activism is not about generating or indulging in excess. I want to say this early and often. It's about learning what it means to be satisfiable, to generate from within and from between us an abundance from which we can all have enough. Part of the reason so few of us have a healthy relationship with delight, with pleasure, is because a small minority of our species hoards the excess of resources, creating a false scarcity, and then trying to sell us joy, sell us back to ourselves. Some think it belongs to them, that it is their inheritance. Some think it is a sign of their worth, their superiority. On a broad level, white people and white men have been the primary recipients of this delusion, that the world exists in some way to please them. And so many of us have been trained into that delusion, that we must accumulate excess in order for our lives to be complete or successful.
Living the infinite pleasure while learning to love limitation. Living the infinite pleasure while learning to love limitation. Living the infinite pleasure while learning to love limitation. Deus I am, Deus I am, Deus I am, Deus I am. Living the infinite pleasure while learning to love limitation. Living the infinite pleasure while learning to love limitation. Deus I am, Deus I am, Deus I am.
So, pleasure is not one of the spoils of capitalism. It is what our bodies, our human systems are structured for. It is the aliveness, the awakening, the gratitude, the humility, the joy, and the celebration of being miraculous. So rather than encouraging moderation over and over, I want to ask you to relinquish your own longing for excess, to stay mindful of your relationship to enough. How much would be enough? How high would be enough? How much love would feel like enough? Can Can you imagine being healed enough, happy enough, connected enough, having space enough in your life to actually live in it? Can you imagine being free enough, working for a world in which everyone has the freedom to experience their own enoughness? Believing there is enough grace, enough love, enough holiness, enough sacredness, enough justice, enough freedom for everyone, not just for the few.
Living the infinite pleasure while learning to love limitation. Living the infinite pleasure while learning to love limitation. Living the infinite pleasure while learning to love limitation. Living the infinite pleasure while learning to love limitation. Deus I am, Deus I am, Deus I am, Deus I am.
The ultimate invitation of spirituality is to accept and dare to have the courage to live into the possibility that you, as you are already enough. That you are beloved and worth more than you can ever imagine. That you are held in an acceptance that is unconditional and unending. That you are enough. You are loved. You deserve justice. You are enough. You are beloved. You deserve justice. You are enough. You are beloved. You deserve justice. You are enough. You are beloved. You deserve justice. Thanks. Again, we're from the South Wedge Mission. It's a inter-practice, multi-religious community based in the South Wedge, but centered on a Lutheran Episcopal Catholic worker kind of Christianity. If you're looking for a place to practice, even if you don't believe in anything, but you like to practice in community, come see us afterwards or find us on Facebook or on southwedgemission.org. We'd love to help you find a center, to find a practice, whatever that looks like for you. We need more spiritually awakened people to help sustain these movements so we can support those who are doing so much work. We need to have a foundation and we need to have hope, and we want to help explore what that looks like together from the many different experiences we bring together, because just like we just said from Adrienne Marie Brown, there's enough space for us all to be who we are and our belovedness and build a foundation to sustain the amazing work that's happening in spaces like this park and from Music as Resistance. So thank you to the folks for having us here today from Music as Resistance.
Yeah.
Gregson introduced this last tune.
Yeah, this is a tune I wrote. I was at one of the protests on a Tuesday night a number of weeks ago, and I was so blown away by the hope and the beloved community that was happening there, and by this almost utopian vision. They did this chant that night that Matthew says was the first time they had done it. And it said, people are unstoppable. A new world is possible. And that was just such a beautiful vision to me. This idea that this is a group of people, this is a community that has hope, that faces horror, and that has hope that is not afraid to look right in the face of pain at the same time, and has purpose and vision that is rooted in reality and grounded in a real clear vision of all the pain that is actually happening. So I wrote the words of the song the next day, and feel free to sing along with it as you pick it up.
Yeah, we kind of end our liturgies with ascending. It's not just about what we recharge together, we sustain each other, and then we go out to take that life and energy and put it back into the world. So see this as a calling to go back out there from today and keep doing the amazing things that you do.
4 coming with the dawn. Be the night, but hear the song. A new world is coming with the dawn. Be the night, but hear the song. A new world is coming with the dawn.
Be the night.
Be the night, but hear the song. A new world is coming with the dawn. Be the night, but hear the song. A new world is coming with the dawn.
So as you go today, may you be blessed in your enjoyment of the world, in your belief that Black Lives Matter, all Black Lives Matter. May you be able to believe that out of the abundance of your own belovedness, that there is enough. May you know yourself as beloved and precious and enjoy that belovedness. And maybe you find the strength to do the next hard thing in front of you. And we hope that you will continue to work to accept your own acceptance and enter into your practice with joy. In the name of the Creator, the Redeemer, and the Sustainer. Amen. you all. Have a blessed day. Thank you to Music as Resistance. Peace.
Yeah, that was our set, but we got some time, and we got all this stuff set up, and we got some instruments, and we're gonna play a little more music for you. We're gonna do a little extended jam on, yeah, thanks man. Yeah, on this song, I don't remember who it's by. They love that artist over here. This goes, it's called You Can't Stop the Spirit. What key are we doing this in? I don't know. E minor? Great. You can't stop the spirit, she goes on and on. She is like a mountain, old and strong. You can't stop the spirit, she goes on and on. She is like a mountain, old and strong. You can't stop the spirit, she goes on and on. She is like a mountain, old and strong. You can't stop the spirit, she goes on and on. She is like a mountain, old and strong. You can't stop the spirit, she goes on and on. She is like a mountain, old and strong. You can't stop the spirit, she goes on and on. She is like a mountain, old and strong. You can't stop the spirit, she goes on and on. She is like a mountain, old and strong. You can't stop the spirit, she goes on and on. She is like a mountain, old and strong. You can't stop the spirit, she goes on and on. She is like a mountain, old and strong. You can't stop the spirit, she goes on and on. She is like a mountain, old and strong. You can't stop the spirit, she goes on and on. She is like a mountain, old and strong. You can't stop the spirit, she goes on and on. She is like a mountain, old and strong. much. Thanks to Pat West for hosting this. We love being here. We're very thankful. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you, Adrienne, for the sound.